Hello and welcome back to the Master Your Money Mindset series, Brain Hacks for Financial and Emotional Freedom. I'm your host, Deborah Fryer, and I'm a catalyst for change and a creative coach for spiritual entrepreneurs, helping you create emotional and financial freedom in your life and business. And I'm super excited to welcome today's guest. I have personally been doing hypnotherapy with today's guest. He's really got some amazing things to share. Our guest today is Dr. Steve G. Jones. He has a doctorate in education. He's a board-certified clinical hypnotherapist, and he's been practicing hypnotherapy since the 1980s. He's the author of 25 books on such topics as hypnosis, the law of attraction, and weight loss. Dr. Steve has also created over 9,000 hypnosis audio recordings and 22 different online certification programs, which are sold in over 140 countries. Dr. Steve has been featured on Bravo's Millionaire Matchmaker as both a hypnotherapist and a millionaire. Additionally, he's been interviewed on CNN, ABC, NBC, and CBS. Dr. Steve has a bachelor's degree in psychology, a master's degree in education, and a doctorate in education, and he has also studied psychology at Harvard University. Dr. Steve, it is such a pleasure to welcome you.
Well, thank you, Deborah. Glad to be here. Thanks for putting this together.
I'm really curious. I have so many questions I want to ask you, so I'm just going to dive right in and ask you, how did you get interested in hypnosis?
Well, I was in high school. My parents sent me to military school. You know, a lot of parents threaten to send their kids to military school or to boarding school, and usually those are empty threats. Well, in my case, it happened. So I got sent to military school. So there I was in Riverside Military Academy in Gainesville, Georgia, and I didn't want to be there. So I got a book called The Complete Guide to Hypnosis by Leslie Leckrone. He was a PhD psychologist who's no longer with us. And it was a rather small paperback book, but it was enough to get a high school kid started on his way to hypnosis. So I started hypnotizing my roommates. And eventually, you know, we're in a military school, so it's kind of like a compound. We're all stuck there. So the smart kids came to my room/office wanting to be hypnotized to study more efficiently. The athletes came to me wanting to exercise more efficiently. And all these years later, that was in the early 80s, all these years later, I'm still doing the same thing, except now the athletes are the Dodgers and the smart kids are NASA.
That's so fascinating. You started hypnosis in the military school. So because we kind of have this belief around the military that they're trying to hypnotize you, right? So did
Well,
that work, or was it not so successful because you had your own tools?
well, military school is attempting to hypnotize, at least in this case, attempting to hypnotize young boys not to grow up to be bad people, and you know, to get their act together and get good grades and hopefully get in a good school and be productive citizens, because a lot of us were just kids that our parents didn't know how to deal with us. So the hypnosis that they were doing was, you know, just program yourself to take care of yourself and not get in trouble and that kind of thing. So I'm happy to say a lot of that took. It helped me quite a bit. But at the same time, yes, I was doing my own hypnosis with the cadets there, as we were called, working on, I'd like to say, more advanced things.
Like what?
Well, helping them exercise more efficiently and study more efficiently so that they can go on and reach their goals. I didn't see that there was a tremendous amount of, there was some extracurricular help, but it was more of a group setting, a very large group setting. So I thought that, you know, if I could offer some help one-on-one to some people, I could help set them up for success in their lives.
Well, this leads me to my next question, because I think there are some common myths about hypnosis, like, you know, watch my finger and I'm going to put you into a trance. And what I'm hearing is that you are actually giving people tools to have dominion over their own minds.
I like the way you say that. Yes, absolutely. That is exactly what we're doing. We're helping them take control. I always say if someone's using a hypnosis recording for more than 3 weeks, then you know, they've got to use something else. If it hasn't worked by then, they should shift to something else. So yes, that's the whole goal, to empower the individual, to show them the power of their subconscious mind so that they can take charge of their lives and make the changes that they want to make.
So what are some common myths about hypnosis
Well,
that you have to deal with?
Well, yeah, thanks to movies like Curse of the Jade Scorpion by Woody Allen. Great movie, by the way. But it did a bit of a disservice to hypnosis, as do a lot of movies, both Woody Allen movies and mainstream Hollywood movies. where you see the person, in a trance and then something bad happens. In Curse of the Jade Scorpion, Woody Allen, bless his heart, he's a great screenwriter and actor and everything else. But someone is called up. He's called up in that movie. He's one of the actors in that movie. And somebody says Madagascar. And that's the key word for him to have to go rob a bank or rob his neighbor or perform some kind of crime. He's been activated. So people see that and they think, well, that's funny, but is that what hypnosis really is? So you deal with a lot of myths like that. People think they can go into a coma. People think they might go into a coma during hypnosis and never come out. And that's not true at all. I'll be glad to go into the scientific reason why that's not true if you'd like, but that's a common myth that's not true.
Yeah, I love to geek out on science. Tell me about the science of hypnosis. How does it work? What's not happening? What is happening?
Okay. Well, to springboard off our previous question, the stages of hypnosis are no different from the stages of wakefulness and sleep. So it's not as if we have two different scales. Scale for hypnosis and the scale for being awake and asleep. We have the same scale. We only conform to one scale. So the lightest state of hypnosis is alpha, which would also be the lightest state of sleep. And you can be in that when you're just going to bed or waking up or when you're in a shower or when you're vacuuming, sometimes when you're driving or reading or watching TV. Anytime you're doing something by rote or when you're winding down or just waking up, you could be in alpha. That's also the lightest state of hypnosis. Now, when you go to sleep, you'll go between theta and delta. Those are the deeper states of consciousness. But you can also go there during hypnosis. So when people say that they can't be hypnotized, I just realize it's a lack of understanding. They haven't been properly educated about what hypnosis is and isn't. So to say you can't be hypnotized would essentially be to say that you're not alive and you're not human. Because everyone who is alive and is human is in and out of hypnosis every day. When you go to sleep, you go down to theta and delta. Those are very deep states of hypnosis. They're also deep states of sleep. When you're in your car and just driving somewhere, you know how to get there, you will oftentimes go down to alpha. It doesn't mean you were an unsafe driver or anything. It just means you were doing something by rote. Your brain didn't need to be fully engaged in that moment. If anything had come up, you would have been alerted, brought back to full awakening consciousness, which is beta, but you didn't need to be. So we go in and out of hypnosis every day of our lives. The only difference between those times when we're going in and out of it naturally and the times when a hypnotherapist would help us in and out of a state like that, like myself, I'm a hypnotherapist, there are two differences. Number one, this is between it happening normally and it happening in a hypnotherapist's office or with a hypnosis recording. Number one difference is the hypnotherapist is causing you to go there by using relaxing words, as opposed to relying on your normal environment to put you into hypnosis, which it will, because driving a car, reading a book, watching TV, you'll go into alpha. Number two, and the most important point is that they will be putting positive thoughts in your mind while you're there. So you can go into hypnosis watching TV or reading a book or driving and listening to the radio, but who knows what kind of messages will go in your mind at that time. It's whatever you're reading, whatever you're listening to, whatever you happen to hear off in the distance. So those things are going in your mind. In a hypnosis session, it's more controlled. What you want to have put in your mind is what the hypnotherapist or the audio is putting in your mind.
I want to ask you a little bit more about the science because I'm really curious about this. So when you lead people through a hypnosis, and I'm just going to use the examples of the 40-some hypnoses that I've done with you already, you always take me to a beautiful location. And so you're inviting the visual part of my brain to come online. You're inviting the auditory part of my brain to come online. You're asking me about different sensations, noticing my breath, allowing different parts of my body to feel heavy. And it seems to me from a brain perspective that you're actually moving us out of the limbic area in the middle of the brain to the outer part of the brain. Is that part of the science of it?
Well, to be honest, I never really thought about it in those terms. We are looking for more of a cognitive level type of processing as opposed to a limbic level type processing. And for those people listening, limbic responses, for example, you can actually move so quickly when something comes at you and you move. You can move remarkably quickly and more quickly than you would if you did that motion yourself. So the limbic responses are built in. This is something that's very helpful for body language. A lot of federal agencies like the FBI rely on limbic responses. Someone will, start playing with their hands or look, over here or there, something like that. These are responses that happen automatically because they're triggered by the very basic part of our brain. In hypnosis, we're dealing with more higher level cognitive things because we're describing something, and we want you to think through it and reason through it and stay with it at least for a while. At a certain point, the conscious mind checks out and the subconscious mind is involved, but still with a subconscious mind, at least according to my understanding, we are dealing with something at a higher level, higher reasoning level than the limbic brain.
So how do you get me to go from my conscious mind, which thinks it can control everything, into my subconscious mind so that you can implant a new belief that I can lose weight or stop smoking or make $1 million or whatever the belief is that I want to have?
Well, it's like when Warren Buffett, when they ask him, how do you pick the right stocks? He says, well, that's where the magic is. So that's where the magic is, except unlike Warren Buffett, I'm going to actually answer the question. The way, can you shoot the main question at me one more time?
I said, how do you get us to go from the analytical mind where we're thinking, right? You've created a scenario that we're thinking about, like I'm on the beach and I'm finding shells and I'm hearing the waves, into my subconscious where I'm so receptive to you implanting a thought.
Okay, so I just wanted to hear the way you asked it because sometimes, and it sounds like you may be in this category of people who are analytical. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we have something very special for you, which is not...
Most of the people who are listening, I bet, are analytical, and they think they can figure this stuff out. And the reason that you're here is to help us bypass that analytical thing so that we can rewire our subconscious.
Right. Well, when I deal with a very analytical person, like when I had my office in Beverly Hills, a lot of producers and big wigs in Hollywood who were very analytical, and the numbers were everything. So I would use what's called a confusion induction with them, where I'm giving them some numbers to add up that don't add up properly, and I'm telling them to think about things that don't make sense. So I'm giving their conscious mind a lot of nonsensical information for them to process, while I'm also slipping in these suggestions at the same time, like relax and down and heavy and deeper. And you may have noticed those words, even though what you're describing are my relaxation inductions that are on my recordings, but it's the same type of concept when it comes to slipping suggestions into there. Stage hypnotists do things that are very interesting. You can talk to, or more conversational hypnotists, when you're talking to them, they can actually cause you to raise your arm or lower your arm or raise a pinky or something just by weaving certain words into the conversation, and your mind eventually strings them together into a command, sort of like analog marking for those familiar with NLP, but it doesn't require you to say the words differently as analog marking does. So while I'm saying those things to you and describing the relaxing beach or the walk in the woods or flying over the pyramids of Egypt or whatever it may be, I'm also weaving in there some words that are going to cause you to relax. And I'm pulling you into the experience by describing the sights, sounds, smells, tastes. These are things you can limbically respond to at a very basic level, and you're being pulled into this scenario. We know from research that your mind will make those things real for you. Your body temperature can raise or lower depending on whether you think you're hot or cold. You can have certain sensations that are not explainable by the outside environment, only by the words that are being used. So you will respond to the words that are being used. So we're just slowly and gradually and gently weaving those words in.
And that is such a cool thing about the brain, because it doesn't know if it's happening or if you're making it up. So you might as well make up something super awesome, right?
Yeah, at least relaxing. And now I always tell new students when they're learning hypnosis, because people use the beach induction. So someone walking along a beach, they want to make it an exciting day at the beach, like we're $10 million in cash rolled up in barrels on the beach, or somebody's playing bikini volleyball or something. And no, we don't want anything exciting. So we want it to be a very relaxing experience, but rather on the boring side, because after all, we want to get them into hypnosis. We don't want to raise their heart rate and get them excited about things. We want them to calm down. And even during the hypnosis, when I'm talking about these things that they'll be accomplishing, I'm not having them get up and cheerlead right then. I'm just programming them for those things.
So deep relaxation is really a necessary step of hypnosis. And then once I'm in that deeply relaxed state, you're going to implant a thought. So this gets into the meat of this money mindset stuff. How can we use hypnosis to change our relationship with money, to improve it, or to maybe we're making money but we can't hold on to it, or maybe we want to invest it better, or we want to serve more with our money? How do we use it in all the different ways that we're in relationship with money?
Okay, great idea. And that's a very common thing that I work with these days. After having been on the Millionaire Matchmaker and Bravo's Below Deck and being written up in Forbes as a millionaire, that's what people want to know from me. How did this guy become rich? He's the hypnosis guy. How can he teach us how to be rich? And it seems like a disconnect when you think about it. Like, I'm going to say some words to you, hypnosis, and you're going to become rich because of these words I say to you. So initially when people hear that concept, there's a disconnect because it doesn't seem real for them. It doesn't seem even possible to do. But think about it like this. There are opportunities in your life, and when I say you, I mean everyone. There are opportunities in your life that you have not taken advantage of that could lead to more wealth, that if you had more belief and faith in yourself and the idea that it's going to turn out, you would take advantage of them. And so it's not just the ones in the past, like, oh, I missed that opportunity. I missed that opportunity. It happens every day. So the opportunities are never gone because new opportunities will come. So this thing called opportunities are going to keep showing up. And a secret to wealth creation that wealthy people have, that people who aren't wealthy tend not to have, is initiative, confidence, motivation, belief, stick-to-itiveness, meaning you can stick to something until it works out. And so these are things, these are concepts that can be implanted in the subconscious mind that will allow the individual to make different choices in the future, in the present and the future, than they've made in the past.
It's so powerful. It's really about what I'm hearing, what I heard you just say is that it's really about the inner cultivation of initiative and motivation and follow through and seeing opportunity everywhere and believing that you can create that or believing that you can deserve it. And that inner belief is what creates the outer manifestation.
Absolutely. And that's all we are. We're just a bunch of inner beliefs that have created our outward manifestation. So since you are just a group of all those beliefs, why not change some of them that aren't serving you and replace them with ones that will?
I love that question. Why not? And a lot of people who are on this right now, watching this, they're here because they have some resistance to their belief, right? They have some attachment to, I'm never going to make that much money. I can't charge that much. I can't be a millionaire. Heck, I can't even break six figures. I'm not that good at what I do. I need another certification. We, have a list of excuses as long as the line at the DMV. How do you get around people's resistances, which are kind of hardwired into their programming?
Well, first of all, I get rid of the phrase can't, because when someone says, I can't do this, I can't do that, I know you're just paraphrasing what people say, and you don't do that, but people will say that. They'll say, I can't do this, I can't do that. And it's just not acceptable when you're working with someone. You don't want to have someone saying that because they're just reinforcing that programming. So initially it's going to seem like they're lying to themselves when they say, oh, I can't make a bunch of money, or I can't show up on time, or I can't do whatever it is that they need to do to make more money. So cleaning up that language is job number one. And along with that comes confidence. I always say that if someone's looking for a hypnosis session to use first, I would choose confidence unless they already know what they want to work on. Confidence is great because it's a catch-all, because with confidence you can do anything, but without it, you'd probably be afraid to get out of bed in the morning. You wouldn't know if the ground was stable or if gravity existed. There are certain levels of confidence that allow you to do more things. Getting out of bed, putting your feet down, walking may not seem so exciting, but when you think about all the other things that you can do with confidence, it just keeps building from there. But without that, they do find it challenging to do anything.
It's true. When we don't have confidence, it really undermines everything.
Yep.
Or that lack of confidence does. So you have tons and tons of hypnosis meditations on your website. And I heard you just say that you recommend confidence is the first one. But what other ones are available if people wanted to go check out what you have on your website?
Well, I've got a freebie there. They can just go get the Unlimited Wealth one at stevegjones.com. If you know what you want to work on, if you're listening to this wealth information, you think, hey, I wouldn't mind being wealthy, then go ahead and get that one. It's free, and it also has confidence built into it. I help people build their confidence while I'm unlocking the potential they have by getting rid of these erroneous ideas they have of limitation. So that's available at Steve G, as in Gregory, stevegjones.com.
And you also have a free gift at the bottom of this page here, so people who are watching can scroll down and they can also get the gift that you're offering here. I think it's the millionaire, your inner millionaire, right? It's a 60-minute hypnosis session to help you untap your inner millionaire.
Yes, that is the one I was talking about.
Yeah.
And so we have it here instead.
Yeah. So that's down below on this.
Go down below and get it instead.
But I also encourage you to go over to Dr. Steve's website, because there is just a wealth of hypnosis meditations as well as NLP and a whole bunch of other really cool juju that you can get. So I'm curious what your journey was. How did you mentioned that people are like, well, how did you go from being this, geeky guy who was interested in hypnosis and science into being a self-made millionaire?
Well, I think the journey was not quite as linear as, all journeys seem linear eventually, because you have one dot here and one dot here at the end, and even though it's zigzag in the middle, you can draw a straight line between them, but there's a lot of zigzag in between. I initially was interested in hypnosis because I got that book on hypnosis, as I mentioned, and my psychology teacher in Riverside Military Academy, his name was Major Crow. I think it was C-R-O-W-E. Everyone had rank in military school, so I don't know his first name. We called him Major Crow. He was a great psychology teacher, and he really encouraged me to, study hypnosis and study psychology. It's because of him that I got my undergraduate degree in psychology at the University of Florida, and then took graduate courses there, and studied graduate level psychology at Harvard. Eventually got my master's and my doctorate got my doctorate at Georgia Southern University. So the journey, though, between when I was in high school and this guy was advising me based on my passion, and now has been quite a long road, because for a while we didn't have the internet. So until the year 2000, that wasn't available, at least not that I was aware of. I was aware of the internet back in like 1995 or 96, but I didn't know you could market things on it. I didn't know you could reach people on it. I just thought it was for a bunch of chat rooms and stuff until the year 2000. So the journey has been one of just me realizing that I need to constantly grow, constantly change, and focus more than anything else on my contribution to the world.
It's really great the way that you bring together language and psychology in terms that are very simple that anyone can use, really. I encourage you, if you're watching this, get that free meditation, that hypnosis that's on this page, because it is really great. And there are also, lots of tools that are on Dr. Steve's website about the language of hypnosis and, ways that you can start to use it in your business. I'm curious about you. Do you hypnotize yourself? Can you hypnotize yourself?
I'm in hypnosis right now. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
No,
You hypnotize me, but can you hypnotize?
There you go. I hypnotize you all the time, apparently.
Right.
Yes, I do. And the way I do it is the way I recommend for other people to do it, which is the way you're doing it, except you just change pilots. So what I recommend is, once you learn how to do hypnosis, you have to take a course, either mine or someone else's, learn how to do it, and make a recording of it and listen to that recording. The reason is, if you are the hypnotherapist and the patient and you're hypnotizing yourself and you fall asleep, well, you both fall asleep because there's really only one person there. So make a recording if there's not a second actual person to record you to do the session. Don't talk yourself through it in the moment because you may just fall asleep. As we pointed out earlier, it's okay to go to sleep because the stages of sleep are the same as the stages of hypnosis, but in this case, the hypnosis session stops because the hypnotist has fallen asleep too. So make a recording of it and play it. So that's when I say switching pilots. Instead of listening to me on the audio, you would listen to yourself.
Well, this is so fascinating. I could go on and ask you lots of questions, but I just want to leave you with one final question, which is, do you have a favorite brain hack for people who are watching, people who are really wanting to bust through that next level of a financial block?
Well, I really think that a lot of it has to do with the reason that you want to make more money or whatever it may be. You know, why do you want to do that? What's the ultimate reason for that? And if you have a strong reason, this becomes a lot easier. In fact, if you don't have a strong reason, I would encourage you to look into that because maybe that's something you really don't want. And if you want to not want that anymore, then the hypnosis recording will help with that. I think I said that right. But if you don't want to change, that's fine. But you have to know yourself. But the hack, so once you've established that, once you're on track, you realize you do want to create wealth, you know why you want to, because you want to help your niece, because you want to put yourself through college, whatever it is, you have a good reason for yourself. As Tony Robbins would say, you can get juiced up about it. That's good. And so the hack that I would do is, there's so many things you can do. I know you want like a little technique you can do, but there's so many other practical things I would do. First of all, start hanging around wealthy people. Second of all, hang less around less wealthy people. You know, if they're relatives, that's fine, but you can always control how much you hang around with them. I relate this to smokers. If you want to quit smoking, a big part of the plan is stop taking smoke breaks so you won't be tempted. But it's, in terms of a little hack that you can do, a technique, you can use something from the world of neurolinguistic programming where you think about the future. What will it be like? And so we can use something called anchoring along with something called future pacing. If you'd like, I can guide us through the technique. It'll take a few minutes, or I can just explain it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it now? Okay.
Yeah,
so all we're going to do is install what we call an anchor, and we're going to do that by using something called future pacing. So if you're driving a car or doing anything that requires your attention, just watch or listen to this later, because this is something you need to watch or listen to while you're just sitting or lying down, and you'll be okay if you close your eyes. You won't fall over. So sit down or lie down in something comfortable and stable, or the floor, or a couch, or your bed. Those are all fine. And what I'd like you to do is, with your eyes closed, just think about this compelling future that you want. Imagine yourself rising above your body, moving into the future, and setting down in that future. This can be any time in the future that you choose, but make sure when you set down, it's a time at which you have accomplished what you want to accomplish financially. You're generating that wealth, making that money, feeling good about yourself. And I want you to notice the things that you're now able to do with that money. Perhaps you're able to help others or help yourself. It all has to do with why you wanted that money in the first place. And notice how good it feels to have accomplished that. As you look back to the present, you can see that it was really very easy. Everything looks easy after you accomplish it. So standing from this point of view, you can see how easy it was to accomplish each of those little steps along the way. And you feel good about it. So crank that up to a level 10. 10 out of 10, how good you feel now. And also, what do you see? Crank that up. Make it very crisp and clear what you see in that compelling future where you're already abundant. You're wealthy. You've achieved that financial goal. Sure, there are more goals to achieve and you look forward to them, but for right now, you've achieved that goal. Crank that up to a level 10, that good feeling of achievement. The sights and sounds and smells and tastes and feelings, and how do your clothes feel? How does the atmosphere feel? Crank all of those sensations up to a level 10 now so you can really feel them. What I'd like you to do now is, with your right hand, touch the tip of your right index finger to the tip of your right thumb and say the word wealth.
Wealth.
There you go. And you can let go of that now, and you can slowly open your eyes. And so what we've done is we've taken you into the future so you can see the compelling future that you're working for, that you're creating, this thing that you're striving for, and you can feel it. How does it feel? It feels good. If it didn't feel good, then like I said, you need to rethink that plan. Make sure you're on the right path, or make sure you have the right reasons. But after you're able to see yourself there and feel how good it feels, then it becomes real for you. Now it's something that quote unquote happened, but it happened in the future. So now you're going to live into it. You're going to move forward into it. Anytime you feel that you're not moving forward into it, just make the okay sign with your right hand and say the word wealth, and that fires off that trigger, that reminds you of what you're moving toward and why you're moving toward it.
That's great. And even in that moment, I just had a deep relaxation. Y'all can see why it's so wonderful to let Dr. Steve hypnotize you.
That's right.
That voice, it's so easy just to be in a totally different world of your imagination. So, Dr. Steve, thank you so much. It's really a blessing and a privilege and an honor to get to sit here and ask you questions and learn from you. And thank you so much for all you've shared.
My pleasure, Deborah. And thank you for letting me share the power of hypnosis. It's not about me. It's about this thing called hypnosis that anyone can learn and anyone can do and anyone can benefit from. So thank you for making this possible for me to share that message.
Yeah, you're so welcome. It's all about changing our brains, right? So that we can create the ease and the abundance that's waiting for us.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too.